Hello, hi, welcome back to Success Automation. This is the continuous session on the Java collection API. In the last video, we saw about the how to store the values in the array list and how to retrieve the values. So today I'm going to talk about the hash map. So hash map also is very important concept in Java that comes under the collection API. For the automation engineer also, it's very important because we'll use the hash map for the to store the locators. So we'll go through the API first. So if you see the definition, I just came to Greek and Greek application website. So here, um, if you see the definition, HashMap is a part of Java collection since 1.2. This class found in a util package. So all the API, Java API, they are divided into packages. So this HashMap comes under the Java util. So the hash map, when you talk about the hash map, the data will be stored in a key value format. So each and every row will contain a key and the value. So in the array list, we can store only the values, whereas in the hash map, you can store the key and value. So I just want to show here in the diagram. So left side will be key and the right side will be the value. So here you can store the key as a name and what is the value you want to store, something like Imtiaz. So role is a key and QA is the value. Like this, you can store the value key value format. In the hash map, the data will be stored in the key value format. Now, so I'll demonstrate one example here, very simple example. So if you see here, very important thing we need to remember is whenever you give the hash map, you have to give the hash map and you need to give these two arguments. These two arguments are very important. The first argument is a string and the second argument is an integer. You can give anything. Either you want to give string here, or you can give integer and string here. Anyway, it is possible, but the way what you define while declaring the hash map, same data you need to pass. So first argument is a string. So I'm entering the value string here. So whenever you want to add the data in the hash map, you use the object dot put. Put is a method. You can add the data into hash map. This is the hash map object. Anything you can do. Map or object, whatever you want. Object map. You can do like this. So this is the object. So this object you have to give like this here. So by using this object, there is a method called put. In HashMap class, there is a method. There is a method put. By using the put method, you can add the data. So first argument is a string. So I am adding the Vishal. And the second argument is integer. So I need to add the integer. Like this, you can add the data one by one. So I am adding three values here. Vishal, Sachin, Vaibhav, some three strings and the values. Now, whenever you want to print all the data from the hash map, just put SOP here, system.out.println and the object name. When you update this, just right click. When you print this, when you try to print this, it will display the data like this. The data will display like this. The first record is Vishal and the value is 20. The second, sorry, first, it is not ordered. HashMap, it is not ordered. The way you enter the values, it won't display. It will display its own order. So that's the reason Vaibhav came first and 20, and Vishal and 10, Sachin 30. Like this, it will display the data. So whenever you want to create a hash map, the hash map should be given here, and you need to give the string. If you want the first key to be string, just give string, and what data you want second value, the value what data you want, you need to give the data type. These are the two data type you need to give. Like this, you can enter the data and you can print. You can get the number of elements stored in the hash map by using the object dot size. Size is a method in the hash map. By using that, you can get the number of elements added into the hash map. So right click this and print this. So if you see here, 3 elements are there. So like this, you can get the size of a array. So some of the characteristics of a hash map we'll see here. So if you see here the hierarchy, the hash map, so the pink color is a class and map is an interface. From the map, it come to abstract map. From abstract map class, hash map is implemented. So this is the hierarchy of a hash map. So the parent interface of the hash map is a map. And if you see here, it is like this. Now we'll see the characteristics of hash map. So hash map is a data structure that is used to store and retrieve values based on the keys. So whenever you want to fetch the data, you can give the key and you can get the data. So how? For example, I want to get, you can give Sachin. This is the key. You can fetch the specific data also. So object dot get, you have to give the key. Whenever you give the Sachin, there is a key right here. When you give this, you'll get the value as 30. So I'll just execute this. So we'll get the value as a 30. So by using the key, you can get the value. That is what it says here. So based on the key, the data you can retrieve. So when you see the first characteristics of a hash map provide fast access time. It's very fast compared to the other data structure, and uses hashing functions. So internally, it uses the hashing algorithm. And the third characteristic is it is key value. It will store the data in a key value pair format and support null values and support null keys and values. Both you can enter. Means you can enter the null here. You can enter the null. For example, I want to pass null, and you can give null here. It is possible. When you want to get the null, if you give the null key, you will get the null value. Just give this. Just give the null, and when you try to retrieve, you can get the null value. So that is all about this character, and it is not order. As we saw, it won't display in the order which the way we have entered the value. So allow duplicates. It will allow duplicate values. Means you can add duplicate values. Means you can give Vishal and you can retrieve the data. So when I want to retrieve, I just give this, just give them object. Vishal, two time we given. It is not, you can add the duplicate. So duplicate, but duplicate key. What is a HashMap allow duplicate values, but not the duplicate key. Okay, okay. You cannot enter. You cannot give the duplicate key. Means you cannot give the duplicate key. For example, um, colleague. You cannot give the duplicate key. That is what it says. So now right click and run this program. Means you can give this duplicate value. The value of Vishal and Kohli you can give same, but you cannot give the duplicate key. That is what say here. And it's thread safe. HashMap is a thread safe. And capacity and reload. HashMap has capacity, which is number of elements that can hold, and load factor, which is measure full map. It can be reset. I'll talk about this later. So as a QA engineer, you should know the hash map. It will store the data in a key value format. It's a thread safe, and the data will be stored in key value, and you can give the duplicate value but not the keys, and thread safe. If you know this much, that is enough. Now the other characteristics, other things what we can do is, you can get the data or you can remove the data as well. For example, now I want to remove the null. While entering, I enter Vishal, Kohli, Sachin, Vaibhav and null. So now by using the remove method, by using this remove method, you can remove the data. Now before removing, I'll print this. This is before remove. Before remove. And this is after remove. Both will print it. Right click, and so before remove, the null is there, Kohli is there, Vaibhav, everything. But when I remove this, I remove the null, then the null is not displaying. So like this, by using the remove method, you can remove the data from the hash map. And you can check some values. For example, whether you want to check the value is there inside the hash map or not. For example, you given the null, we remove the null, and we are trying to check the null is there or not. Now it will give the false because we are removing before that. So right click and so it will give the false. Like this, you can check whether that element is there in the hash map or not by using the contains key. and size we already saw. And other things are, um, you can retrieve all the elements from the hash map. I'll just demo that as well. So by using this for statement, you can retrieve all the data. How we can do? I'll just remove all these things. So here you need to give the object. We need to import this map here. So by using map, or you can use hash map also here. You can put hash map also here. Doesn't matter. Map or hash map. So by using for loop, hash map, entry, set, entry, and data type. What is the first data type here? String. The second data type integer, and we are creating the object here. So it will go to the hash map entry set. It will check whether that entry is there. It will get the data. This, if you see here, entry set return a set returns a set view of mapping contain this map. The set is backed by the map. So it will it will go to the hash map, get the data, and it will store in this object first element. Now by using the get key means it will fetch the first value. In this, the first row will get. By using that, we are getting the key. Similarly, by using this object, this one, we are getting the value. So first it will print the key here, and it will print the value, and it will print the string value, and it will get the value from the hash map. So I'll run this. You can understand this one. So here, by using this for loop, the first element it fetch is null. As I told, it is not ordered. It may fetch any order. So you have fetch it got the first key as null. The value for this null is null. Second, it fetched the Kohli key and it print the 10. Third, Vaibhav and the value of that Vaibhav. Fourth key is Vishal. The value of that key 10. The fifth key is a Sachin and the value is 30. Like that, you can fetch the data by using the for loop from the hash map. So in automation, for what purpose we will use? What is the use of the hash map? Generally for automation, I just created another class. In automation, where we'll use to store the X path or locators. You'll give some name to the locator, first name, the locator value, last name, and the last name locator, anything. So like this, you can create a hash map and store all the locators. For example, I'll just go here. So here, if you see here, the first name locator, I'm just giving the key name as a first name, and actual locator, whatever is there, I'm putting as a value. So as I define this hash map, first argument is string, second argument is string. So where I'm entering the string data here as well as the string here. So here in automation we'll give the each object name as a key, first name, last name, phone, email ID. These are the keys we'll give, and the actual locator will put in the value. So we put the here and the phone locator. For example, go here and right click, inspect, So here phone is the locator. So you can store the actual locator as a value and you give some name for the locator name. So like this, I just created the one hash map, and by using the constructor, I'm storing all the values, and down I have created one get locator method. This locator method I have given argument as a string key. So whatever the locator I want to fetch, just give the key name, you will get the locator. How we can use? Um, I'll just I'll access this in some class. You can understand this one. Test locator. So for example, I want to fetch the data into this test locator class. How we can do? We have to, whenever we want to access anything from the class, you need to create the object. So just you need to give public here, public, and this should be public. So I'm just accessing here. HashMap demo. I need to create the object obj equal to new. Now I want to access the data. So object, I created one method get locator. I'll give the key name. I just created three keys here: f name, l name, phone number. I'll do f name. If you give the first name here, so by using this object, I'm calling the get locator. If you see here get locator method, I just created one get locator method. Get locator is a user defined method I created. I given one argument as a string. I want to pass the key, and whenever you pass the key by using the map object get method, when you pass the key, it will return the actual value. This is the key and this is the value it will get. So just I want to fetch that. Right click now. So you will get the actual locator. Here you can store anything. You can store like this. You can create the actual locator. Uh, some locator sample locator. I want to demonstrate this. Ef name first name. Okay. Okay. Hey. So I just created one sample locator here. So when you fetch this, you'll get the actual locator like this. You can fetch the actual locator. So in automation, we'll add all the locators in the hash map, and wherever we want, we can fetch the value actual value. So in real world, how we'll use like this: driver dot find element file element by dot xpath, and we'll put the so in real world we use like this. So when you give the key, we'll give the actual locator here. So like this we'll use in our automation. So this is all about the hash map. So this hash map, you can store the data like this, or sometime we'll fetch the data from the CSV file, and from the CSV file we'll we'll store the key here and data here, and we'll create the hash map. We'll fetch the data from the CSV file and store in this, and by using this class, by using the get locator, we can fetch the actual data. Like this we can retrieve the data. This is all about the hash map. Hope you understood. So in next class I am going to talk how to fetch the data, um, um, what is the next topic in hash map collection. So mostly we in automation will use list and the hash map. The other thing is, um, we use vector. Very rarely we'll use vector. I'll in the next video I'll talk about the vector. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Subscribe my channel, share to your friends. Thank you very much. Have a great day.